The Rav of the Rebbe to learn Hilchos Beis Abchira in the days Ben HaMetzorim. We have the honor today to have Choshev Yigaman, Rosh Yeshiva in Yeshiva Gdeile, Harav HaChosid, Harav Moshe Nosner Levi פישער is going to give us some insights into Hilchos Beis Abchira. פישער, בבקשה. Also, don't forget the Rav of the Rebbe to give Tzedakah B'tzibur as part of the Rav in Hilchos Beis Abchira.
Beis Abchira in Perek Vov begins going through the Seder of the Harabayis, how it gets elevated, going higher and higher. So the first elevation after entering the Harabayis, the next time you go up higher is before the Ezras Noshim. Ezras Noshim is 12 steps, which means it's 6 amas higher. Okay, you go weiter. Now when you come to the main Azor at Ezras Yisrael, there's 15 steps, Chamish Esrei Ma'alos, which means another 7.5 am. You know, by Simcha Beis HaShiyeva, then the Levim would stand with the Klishir, they would be standing over there on those steps, going up to the Ezras Yisrael in front of the Ezras Noshim. The whole Simcha was in the Ezras Noshim, and they were standing over there. Fine, so we went up to the Ezras Noshim once, again to the Azor Ezras Yisrael. Okay, you're going into the Ezras Yisrael now. The next Madrega in Kedusha is Ezras HaKohanim. So over there isn't such a big elevation. What do you have over here? The Ma'ila Givoya Amma. There's a step, which, unlike the other steps, which are only half Amma, this Ma'ila is Givoya Amma. It's Amma high. And on top of that, there's a Duchan. Here's the notion of a Duchan. It's kind of a platform. Over that, I mean, it's not built in this Luchera, yeah? But there's a Duchan standing on the step. And in the Duchan is built in another 3 steps. Each one half an amma. The kids said there was one mile over there, there was one step, an amma, and on top of that, the duchan, which is another 1.5 ammas, 2.5 ammas. So as it's so, there's a Kohanim, you're going up another 2.5 ammas. Okay, you're going now, there's a Kohanim, then you get to the Mizbeach, and past the Mizbeach, you're getting to the Ulam, which is already the Binyan HaHechel. Going up to the Ulam, now here again, you have more steps going up to the Ulam. It's, again, 12 steps, equaling 6 ammas. Sach Hakel, that means Chov Beis Ameh, 22 Ameh from when you began going up by the beginning of Ezras Noshim, till you come to the Shara Hilchot. The Shara Ulam is 22 Ames higher. So it explains this in Yedua, that therefore it means if somebody's standing on the bottom of the Harabayis by the entrance, and he's looking straight ahead, he's not able to see the Pesach HaEchel. And that's why they made the Parah Adumah, they made in the Haramishcha, Harazesim. And when he's Mazeh, he has to be able to see the Pesach HaEchel. So you wouldn't be able to see it. They made the wall of the Harabayis lower over there so you could look over the wall. Because if you look through the shard, you would just like hit the karka. You wouldn't be able to see. So the Mishnah says, Mernam brings it down. Klotzkashe. So in the Franklin Rams, the Radvaz, and all the Rams there isn't. Like Klotzkashe on them. Yeah, if you're looking in case it's on bottom, straight through the Pesach Harabayis, the Shar Harabayis, you're not going to be able to see the Pesach HaEchel, because the whole Shar is only 20 amas high, and that's 22 amas you're not going to see. He's standing high up on another mountain. So he's looking behind the matter. Why wouldn't he be able to see? Why does he have to look through Dafke, the Pesach on bottom? The Pesach HaEchel is a lot higher. No, see, but he's elevated, like he's on a helicopter, a state of V'neidim. So you should be able to look in. Why do you need to make the wall lower? The Rebbe says you can see B'muchash. If you go on the Harazesim, it's much higher, and you can see look down to the Mokim HaMikdash. So he says, Mustama, the Pshat is that the Mokim where they made the Parah Adumah wasn't at the peak, wasn't at the highest point in Harazesim. It was at a lower place. And from there, you wouldn't be able to see. Okay, but the main thing that I wanted to discuss also, starting off with Radvaz brings up, is Legaba this step. We mentioned one of the things was the Maila, the step that was made from Ezras Yisrael to Ezras Kohanim, and V'aleo there was a Duchan which had 3 more steps. So what was that Duchan for? It's going up, but what was done over there? What was done on that Duchan going from Ezras Yisrael to Ezras Kohanim? L'ma hoya mishamish. What's up in dort getan? So the Rambam here says azay. Naloch Vov. V'laduchan ha'elam Ezras Yisrael to Ezras HaKohanim hoyu alvim oimdim b'shor she'oimdim shira la'karban. So the Levim said Shira, the carbon by the Nisuch Hayayim, B'shas HaNisuch, the Levim said Shira. Where were they standing? They were standing over there on that mile by the entrance to Ezras Kohanim. He said the Mizbeach is further in. They're standing more out. That's the Levim said the shit of it. Now, there's another ring also. Duchen, the contract, what we call today, but the Duchen, the Siyas Kapayim. There was a Migdash, there was Birchis Kayanim, in a whole different way than we do Birchis Kayanim now. Achas, Shemam Lefurish, was the real Birchis Kayanim, the Given and Beis HaMikdash. Where were the Kayanim standing at the time of Birchis Kayanim? So, in most places it says that they were standing b'mailus ha'ulam, further in front, it says past the Mizbeach, in front of the ulam. This is a lotion that you see in the Mishnah, Masechet Tamid. Mishnah says, Bo v'omdu ha'mailus ha'ulam, they come and they stand on the steps of the ulam, and it goes on to mention, Birchos ha'am bracha achas, the Kayanim benched, the Yidden with one bracha, we say one bracha, b'medina, outside the Beis HaMikdash is drei brachas, you said separate, you say Amen in between. So you didn't say Amen, you weren't asking for Amen, it was one bracha. So where was it? Amailus ha'ulam. That's where the Mishnah says it was. The Rambam talks about this in Hilchis Tefillah. It's called Hilchis Tefillah or Birchis Kohanim. So in Perik Yudalid over there, in Halachi Yudalid, the Rambam says, B'migdash mevarchim Birchis Kohanim pam achas b'yoyim achat omid shel shachar. The Rambam holds only once. Other shita say it was more than once. The Rambam says only once in the morning. By the Tomid Shel Shachar was Birchis Kohanim. Where? Voin v'oim dem al Mailus ha'ulam and mevarchim. Again, like the Mishnah over there says, the Kohanim were standing where? Mailus ha'ulam. Okay. So the Maile over there, that's what the Kohanim we mentioned, that's what the Levim are standing b'shira, and the Kohanim, Birchis Kohanim, are b'Mailus ha'ulam. Well, the problem is that there's a couple of places, Kamal Mekaymis, where it seems that Birchis Kohanim did take place on that Maile, on the Duchan, on the Maile going to Birchis Kohanim. In some places, it's mashma that Birchis Kohanim was happening over there. So the Radvaz points this out, that in the same Perik over there in Rambam, Hilchis Tefillah, in the earlier halacha, what's the lashon he says? Keitzad Birchis Kohanim b'mikdash. How did they do Birchis Kohanim b'mikdash? HaKohanim oilin laduchan achas yeshlimu HaKohanim avedus tamid shel shachar. After they finish avedus tamid, oilin laduchan to do Birchis Kohanim. They get some duchan in all the places. What's the duchan? The duchan is that on the Maile. So nothing else is called duchan. Also in Mishnah he says this where it talks about this Maile, but the Nurim teaches Yom Tov Rosh Mefarish like that. Loshna Mishnah is almost like Loshna Rambam. Bless him, Yaakov Eimer, Maile Hoisa Sham Gvoya Amo, Va Duchan Nosen Oleho. It was the duchan on the Maile, but the Nurim Zog on the Maile She'oilen Behen La Duchan. This is Yom Tov Mefarish She'oilen Behen La Duchan. What the Vorech Hasam? The Vorech Hasam. So in some places it's saying Mashma the Rambam and it's Yom Tov Mishnah from the Rash that Birchis Kohanim happened also on the Duchan. It was the Mitzvah, was Birchis Kohanim on the Mailus ha'ulam or on the Duchan. So there's different terutzim that I said. The Radvaz himself, the first one that I saw that asked the Kasher, the Radvaz wants to say there's some Kohanim which are not allowed to enter further than past the Mizbeach. That's called Beinu Ulam and the Mizbeach. Past the Mizbeach, coming up to the Ulam, coming out to the Eichel, it says in the Seder of the Eser Mailus, the Eser Kedushas, that Beinu Ulam and the Mizbeach, different people between them, a Balmum. A Kohen, a Balmum, is not allowed to go in over there past the Mizbeach, Beinu Ulam and the Mizbeach. But a Balmum is kosher for Birchis Kohanim. It's clear, but a Balmum is kosher to do Birchis Kohanim. So this is one answer that Radvaz wants to say, that the Ikir Mokim of Birchis Kohanim is B'mailus ha'ulam, further in. A Balmum, which is not allowed to enter, he's not allowed to go past the Mizbeach. So for them, they made another place. For them, they made a place over there by the Duch. Later, the Acharinim the answer is Apele, because there's a clear Tosefta which says otherwise. But Tosefta and Seita over there talks about Birchis Kohanim also. Loshna Tosefta is Birchis Kohanim Elu, the Shosha Kohanim Oimrim HaMailus ha'ulam. Again, also says it's on the Mailus ha'ulam. He's Dr. Azay. Hakoil Kshein in Laulis b'Mailus ha'ulam, bein Tmimim bein Balimumim. Tosefta shows befedish that for this thing of Birchis Kohanim, even the Balimumim are allowed to go over there. I mean, one of the other Achreinim is Mefarish, because you see over there, the Mishnah Kelim talks about all the, another ringing that's mentioned that you're not allowed to go in. Yisraelim are not allowed to go, Stamazeh, you can't go into Ezes Kohanim. Chutz, if it's L'tzerich, Smiche, for Shchite, so then he's allowed to go in. Otherwise, it's just like a Chumra D'Rabbanan that you shouldn't go. But if there's any specific need, Make me shine. So it says, al derech zeh, this that a kohen balmum can't go in Udom and Mizbeach, it's a chumra yisayid, it's a mile, but if there's a mitzvah brichas kehanim, it can be again. But whatever the biur might be, the Sefta says befedish that the balimum are allowed to go to the mile, so is the teretz hashveret teretz. One of the other terutzim. Oh, before I just want to mention before is the few places in the Gemara where also it has this mashma, which says this lashon that brichas kehanim is hamikdash was by the ducha. So the Gemara in Kedushin there's an interesting brayse. Tanya Omer Reb Tarfon. Tarfon says, "Pam achar solisi achar achi imi laducha." His uncle, his mother's brother, Tarfon himself was a kohen, and mother's also came from a family of kehanim. His uncle, he went with his uncle to the ducha. V'teisi ozni etzel kohen gadol, and I tried to be close to listen to what the kohen gadol is saying. Shamaiti shevli Hashem ben imes achav kehanim. There was a special Shem. There was a different special Shem that only the kohen gadol knew, and he tried to be mavliya. People shouldn't hear it so clearly, but he paid attention and he heard it. So this is in the Beis Hamikdash. Also, the lashon is, where did he go? Laducha. It's another place that says Laducha. Also, the Gemara Chagige. It talks about Stachel b'shleisha dvarim, ein of cases. 3 things you shouldn't be staring at, and it could have an effect on your eyes. And one of them is, Stachel b'koyanim b'zman shebes Hamikdash kayam, shayu oimdim nal duchanon, mevarchen es Yisrael b'shem ha'mefush. Just really going back, I should have mentioned before. These are all the places in Shas where it mentions brichas kehanim and the ducha. The Tzad Seini, it's a mitzvah mishnah mufaresh, it's meidas ha'ulam. So we said the answer that Advaz, Bali Mumin, it's a shvere teretz. Okay, one other way to explain, Feres Yisrael Mishnayis wants to say that he wants to say like this, that most kehanim were in Tremaidas ha'ulam, but there wasn't enough place. A big crowd wasn't enough place, so there was a second place. So they had another place that was the Maila going to Rezos Kehanim. I mean, he says that if it's understood, maybe it's not so understood. The Maisa that just chazet in the morning Kedushin, he said that Tarfon listened to the Kohen Gadol by the Duch. Kohen Gadol, ich darf stupen sich zwischen allen Menschen, die haben verkehrt. Ich habe verkehrt, Kohen Gadol, the Iki Platz, in Meidas Ha'ulam, mach Platz for Kohen Gadol. That's what he wants to say. That was when there was no place, there was a second mocking for the Kehanim over there. Another answer, which maybe is a deichik in the lashon, but could be the simplest answer, is that some achredim seem to say that even though in all these places it says the lashon duchan, and in the Mishnah the word duchan is always going on that place, on the Maida going to Ezos Kehanim, but maybe lav dafke, maybe duchan really could be any mokim gavoya, it could be the duchan. So maybe the Maida Solam, das is the duchan, I know how. Those will say to take away all these kashes, even though they're using the lashon duchan, but maybe be'emes it was Maida Solam. And the could be there was twice brichas koyanim. There's a mashmos. Anyways, it could be there was twice brichas koyanim. One b'shas atfila, which was earlier, and the later one after Gemara Avedas Atomit. It could be the earlier brichas koyanim was in the outer place, Maidas Ha'ulam, and later one was the Nachateres Kenzan. Yesh la'ayin doit. That's the shaila upon where was brichas koyanim b'samigdash? You know, from Duchan or the Maidas Ha'ulam. We want to be Hamikdash mehr wie Yemen, was it sein dann.
Right after my incident, there will be a siyum. Meir will be in about 5 minutes.